what is it about spirituality that can potentially make sex better?
Hmm.
Ooh.
I'm
Do you want
conscious that I'm
me
talking a lot, so you can go and then I'll go
to?
because I'm conscious that I'm jumping in
Yeah.
fast because I talk
Yeah.
really fast.
I've
But really, like, what is it about spirituality that makes sex better? Because I've heard from highly spiritual people how they have amazing sexual experiences and sexual relationships. So I've always wondered, and I want to hear from people that practice spirituality as, you know, their jobs, right?
Mhm.
What do you think? Like, what about spirituality that makes sex better?
what I'll be honest about is there's another level to, like, say, tantric sex that I've not
Mm,
even dove into yet myself.
right.
So all I can share is my personal experience, and um, I went on a journey of 2 years of celibacy. So
Yeah, I
uh,
want you to share that. I think that
yeah,
whole thing is very interesting.
well, and because I think we spoke in our podcast around the fact that I was very I want to say sexually stunted. I didn't have a connection to my body. And I think that's also to do with my lack of connection to spirituality. So it was a lack of connection to um, love and God within me that had me disconnected from my body. Because I was disconnected from my body when I did have sex, it wasn't for pleasure for myself, it was a job. I think I said that. It was a job. And so because I didn't have that connection to myself, I never thought of sex as something I do for myself. And what I realized on that 2 years of celibacy, so after my journey was I got to 39 and I'd had two sexual partners in my life and I had children to both men. So two children to the first partner and three to the second. So I was very monogamous, very, yeah, long term
Mhm.
relationship person. And then when my marriage broke down, I went on a discovery process of a couple of years of literally finding some sexual liberation. Um, and I still realize, even in that journey, that it was still about external validation. It was still about feeling better about myself through sexual practices with other humans.
Right, right.
And then I think that's potentially where the game changer came in for me. And I'm like, okay, if you're still not getting what you need personally from all of these external experiences, let's try something different. And it wasn't something I didn't go, shit, I'm going to just be celibate for 2 years. And when I say celibate, because I think there's a meaning behind celibate, which is not what it's not really celibate. What I mean is that I didn't have sexual relations with other humans for it was 21 months.
Right. Like you were
Um,
still masturbating.
Yeah, like
Okay.
literally daily, sometimes twice a day,
Okay.
and it was a lot. So I went from, I think there's a whole aspect behind it. I moved into a new home. So me and my children moved to a new home. I literally had a lock on my bedroom door. So that made, and my kids were teenagers by this stage. So they weren't like dependent. I had my freedom to lock my door whenever the hell I wanted, and I had space to cultivate this sexual relationship with myself
Yes.
in this safe space that I didn't think a child was going to walk in every 5 minutes or I wasn't going to be needed for anything. So I was able to give that time and space to myself. Um, and yeah, I went on it was a self discovery journey. Like I realized we can be quite open. I like just fingering myself. I was able to feel different parts of my insides that I didn't even know fucking existed, like my G spot and
Mhm.
the fluffy thing that sits under the, like I didn't know, and but that like I was 40 and I didn't know all of this stuff about my body because I hadn't built this relationship to be able to feel safe to connect with that part of myself, and so it was those little things, but oh, like I'm talking a lot here. I've just got one real powerful thing that I think broke through for me was the orgasm itself. And so I used to, it was like when I would orgasm, it would be like, I guess, tickle, 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 done. And then I used to think to myself, what's beyond that? Like there's something in me that wants to know what's beyond that. Is that the limit? Is that as good as it
Mhm.
gets? And that's what I cultivated in 2 years was to learn how to have multiple orgasms, how to ride through that discomfort to make, like, to break through. So it gets to this height and then you just have to let go. And I'm like, I don't fucking want to let go. I want
Right.
to know what's on the other side. I want to jump off the fucking cliff. And so that's what it was. And so when I got there and I realized what happened for me when I broke through that was emotions. I literally connected to my emotions. So I was like, oh, and it was just such a massive release of energy, like just
Uh-huh.
a massive release of energy. And I realized, fuck, this is what sexual energy is. It's
Mhm.
so fucking powerful. And when you are in the height of that, when you break through that, that vibration is so fucking powerful. And
Yeah.
so it become, as I said, I feel like I got this is why it happened so often. It was I almost would say I got addicted to that feeling, and I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
I want to do that. And I spoke about that was that I started to realize that until I got to that breakthrough of tapping into my emotions, that I didn't really feel like I was doing it right. It was like I didn't wasn't giving it justice.
So
To
that's the convergence between spirituality and sex for you.
Mm.
Self
yeah,
sex.
yeah, 100%. Coming back to that, but I also realized there's probably some sacredness around tantra that would evolve
Yeah.
it to a whole nother level of practice
Mhm.
again.
Mm. I
Mm.
love that story because I've been explaining this feeling to a lot of people about how it feels tickle, 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 and then you come, right? And
Yeah.
then a lot of people will let go after like you feel like you're coming, right? There is a feeling, especially for those that can come easier through clitoral stimulation and clitoral orgasm. There's a feeling where you come, you just came, right? But if you are slightly more persistent and you keep going and riding that like having to pee, like closing your legs feeling, there is another one
Mhm.
that could potentially come, and then there could be another one. So it's pretty crazy sounding, but it's true, and lots of women kind of experience this. But hey, you know what, like if you're listening and if you feel like you've never ever had a vaginal orgasm, I want to share with you, statistically speaking, a lot of women have never had vaginal orgasm. And
Yeah.
so you're completely normal. There's nothing wrong with you. It's completely okay to have clitoral orgasm. They're both pleasurable. To the brain, it's the same thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Brain science show, yeah, you get all these feel good hormones, um, feel good, all the energy, like energy stuff, and your brain and the brain science tells you, hey, you're experiencing pleasure, awesome, like feel good today, here's some serotonins, here's some dopamine, here's some good shit, right? So at the end of the day, like if you feel like inadequate just because you can't, or you feel like you can't have vaginal orgasm, there's really multiple things you can do to try to have it, or like it's okay to say, hey, I love clitoral orgasm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And like I was sharing, I think for me it was the space that I gave myself to go through that self-discovery of like what's
Yeah.
inside there,
Mm.
and like just using my own hands to figure out what it feels like in there, and just have more awareness of my own body and how it
I
works.
love it.
For
I
me,
love
that's
it.
what spirituality and sex is too. And I was just having a laugh and going, that's spirituality right there. That's the universe providing for you and giving you a house with a fucking lock on the door for the first
Ooh.
time in your life to go, okay, this is about me. And so for me, spirituality and sex, it can be the connection between the two of you in the moment. But a lot of where that comes into play and makes things better is that you know yourself and you love yourself, and everything physical, like it's great to play and it's great to look in the mirror and be like, I look banging today, right? But when you're in touch with your spiritual being, you're like, this is a pleasure suit. Like, this is my,
Ooh.
I'm wearing this. It's pretty hot, but even if I don't feel so hot, I can still tap into that because I deserve that. So for me, pre-children, I had a perfect body. I didn't think I did, but I did, right? And I look now and I don't, but I'm much more sexually confident and enjoying myself a lot more because I fucking love the shit out of myself. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's my powerful energy that I hold within, that gives me that permission to do that. So I feel that spirituality, there's lots of ways, again, tantra, energy play work. So, So I love the studies that show, if we hold our hands just above our partner, they can feel that energy, without even touching
Yeah.
them. So playing with energy is such a cool thing, and we can feel that. And I've never delved into it yet because we have children who are young and annoying and in
Are
our face all the
always
time,
on
right?
top of you.
Literally. So it's kind of like, let's have sex when we can, and awesome, let's go. But I love that, I've seen studies that have shown people orgasm from not being touched, just energy manipulation. And I'm like, how cool is that? So,
Yeah.
it's just, for me, it's that intentional sex rather than let's have sex. It's intentional is where we bring spirituality into that.
Thanks for listening. This was Love Bites by Dr. Tara. Follow Dr. Tara on social media at lovebites.co. Have an orgasmic day.